Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the Creators Way podcast. I'm your host, Coach P, aka she is a personal development specialist, creative strategist, author, and now podcaster. But number one, I just want to say I am so glad to be in this moment with you because you are always up doing something. You are always up trying to strategize a plan. You are always up trying to think about how can I put myself in a better position. And I love that. I love being around people who think about success, and not just personally, but professionally. And that's kind of what I want to talk about in today's episode, really quickly, as you go about your day. Now, just by definition, success can mean so many different things for different people. Some people quantify their success based on their health. Some people quantify their success based on materialistic things. Some people quantify success based on personal status or relationship or income. But the type of personal success that I'm talking about is consistently living in a way that aligns with your values and your goals. And I mean, like, actually obtaining it, actually gaining it, actually putting it in the right position. Are we being hopeful? Are we thinking about success in a way that is outside of what we can do versus what the universe can do for us? Now, I don't think there is nothing wrong with that. But, or let me not say but, let me say however, it is something that is happening within yourself that you have to feel like you are capable of actually achieving. Otherwise, it's no longer about success. It's no longer about you being decisive. It's no longer about developing the characteristics of a person that is successful. So when you think about success or when you are trying to manifest success, you have to know that it is kind of like this blurred line of what you believe is possible versus what you believe you can contribute to it actually being possible. Now, I'm not saying that you don't hope or you don't pray to get a specific type of job or a specific type of promotion or a specific type of love or inheritance. I believe miracles happen every day. The only thing that I'm saying in this particular episode is, to me, it's a little dangerous when we, as creatives and entrepreneurs, operate in a space that is outside of our innate talent, our innate purpose, our innate skills that contributes to this world. And I know a lot of you guys that's listening to this world, listening to this podcast is like, maybe some of you guys been doing what you're doing for a while. Maybe some of you guys have been like trying to put something together for a while or been strategizing on it and it still hasn't taken off or came into the right perspective yet. But it is still something that is requiring you to learn how to give more to in order to be successful. You see what I'm saying? I know people can have like different variations of what success truly is, especially in this life, in this economy. And I think for the minimum, a lot of people are operating in a space where like you are struggling, you are trying to figure it out. So a quick win or God blessing a particular situation um, quickly and abundantly. I'm talking about like not abundantly in a way that requires you to be there, but something outside of yourself to really kind of show up for you. I just want us to be very clear that we achieve personal success when it is really tied to who we believe we are and what we can contribute. I know that this economy is shifting. I know this economy is moving like, man, and you know, we have kids. We have things we need to attend to, bills we need to pay. And I'm not taking away those wishes and desires and hopes that you have. But what I do want to say is you have a skill that needs to be developed. You have a skill that needs to be put out into this world. You have a product, you have a service, you have a meaningful thing. Some of you guys, you know, your dream is to be a professional court supreme judge. And this is not to say, and I know I always say this, like I'm telling you, I don't push entrepreneurship, I push fulfillment. And it's just like when you want to be a judge or a Supreme Court person, or you want to work in a higher in an organization within banking, probably, or private equity. Education is required. You have to put in the amount of schoolwork. It don't matter how much you wish it. It don't how much it don't, it don't matter how much you dream of it. The victory goes to the person that is putting in the work. They're contributing to making sure that that thing actually happens. And that is what really creates success. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? This is why I told you, I think in a previous episode that I did, that there are opportunities around us every day, but it's hard to see it when you are used to being in this survival mode, when you're used to operating in this space that doesn't require you to really show up. And to me, a lot of you guys, you haven't acknowledged the fact yet that you don't really want to do the work. It's almost like when you want to have a dog, like, and I'm using this is just like me. Like I would love to have a dog. At one point I did have a dog for less than 2 weeks. And once I realized how much work, and it was a puppy, how much work went into caring for Mario. That was his name. Okay. Mario, I loved you. Okay. But when I saw so much work was required to go into this animal, I said, I didn't sign up to have another child. I didn't, you know, I did not sign up for this. And some of you guys, you want to get past doing the work. And as I always, now, this is not for everybody. Some of you guys are actually putting in the work, right? You're putting in the work, but you have a negative connotation around how it's actually going to happen. You have a negative connotation around even applying for the job. You have a negative connotation around even going to that event to try to build your network up. Like, I want you guys to think about success differently because you are showing up. You are truly amazing. And I never want you to forget that. I never want you to let your current circumstances or employment or bank account or lack thereof determine the type of person that you truly are. And I always try to connect this back to purpose. I always try to connect this back to your talents, your skill, your drive, just who you are as a person, because I don't think a lot of us as creatives believe that we can really produce the things that we really say we want to produce because they require so much effort. And when you think about it as a whole, the effort overwhelmed the whole intent to even show up to build upon it. And that's, to me, that's not how greatness is built. It's not how greatness is built. So I guess in today's episode, I want you guys to walk away from here knowing that perspective, but I also want you guys to walk away knowing that something about what you're doing needs to be developed if you truly want to be successful. And when I say develop, I mean in terms of your personal belief about what you can achieve. not what's outside of you, not about somebody came in and saved you. I'm truly talking about you going in there and believing in so much that you are the solution. You are the solution. And I believe when you act as though you are the solution, God gets behind you, the universe gets behind you. And this is why, and I think Tiffany Haddish said this, like, she's like, I don't want anyone to suffer, but when you suffer, you really grow from it. And I'm going to, take it a step further and say, when you're desperate, like, are you going to be desperately pushed into a corner to, to get a job? Are you going to be desperately pushed into a corner to make your dreams come true? Are you going to be desperately pushed into a corner to go back to school? Like, you know, all of these are tests to define who you really say you want to be. I can't say I truly want to be an entrepreneur and I'm over here working 60 hours. I mean, 60 hours at a typical job. Those two things don't necessarily go together. I can't say I want to go to school if I'm only spending less than 30 minutes on study time, work, and everything else. Like, I'm not really taking it serious. The work will always get behind the victor. I want you to know that. I don't want you to walk around wishing for God to change your life. I don't want that for you. I believe in God. I keep saying this to you guys because I don't think a lot of people understand in terms of strategy. I I believe heavily. I'm very optimistic. I'm just being very honest with you guys. But I am so, and I'm not going to say practical because I feel like as a creative entrepreneur, sometimes that practicality can stop you from seeing the opportunity. But what I'm saying is, I do believe that skills and talents need to be developed, and you have to put the work in to create the opportunity to become successful. And that's the difference. That's going to be the difference for the people that a year or two are now that are thriving on YouTube, that's going to be thriving in their own personal business, that's going to have a community of people, that's going to be flourishing in school. I just want you to think about success as something that you can actually make happen within your thing, not in something that's outside of your thing. That's the whole purpose of this episode around talking about success. I know it's probably something you didn't think I was going to say, or you thought I was going to go all into these, terms and definitions. I mean, you can put it how you want to put it. You can dice it how you want to dice it. But I truly believe that you have to believe more in you and what you are trying to create long term. That's that's all I'm saying. If you want to become successful, all I'm saying is believe more in the thing that you are trying to create. And I believe the universe will sure show up to support you. And some of you guys need to think strategically. If this is the opportunity that you specifically want, you may have to increase your job or a side hustle to be able to and to do A, B, C, and D. But you definitely have time allocated towards that specific thing and this specific thing. And you also trying and you're failing and I'm not saying failing, but like in terms of like, oh, I'm improving, you know? I think I do that here on this podcast. I think, and I always say this in my episodes, but like I love mentioning it over and over again. I know some of you guys are like tired of it. But as I said, like I used to press this microphone and like have a whole panic attack on the floor. I'm still learning how to communicate effectively. I'm still learning, the ins and out of personal development. I'm still learning about creative strategy and marketing and advertising. Like these things don't stop and they don't just stay within the classroom setting. Like this is from people who have experience and telling their stories. Like you never stop learning how to get better. And the thing about it is, and I think this is why so many people want the out of actually working for something, is because you guys kind of think you know everything. And what I have realized is, if you truly want to be smart, if you truly want to be successful, you have to realize that you don't know everything. Something about what you're doing could be wrong. And I'm not saying put it in a negative way, because a lot of times those conversations happen, they're like negatively affected, or negatively affecting our ability to take actions on the things that we say we want to create, because we're taking it so personal. And when you are in the midst of becoming curious about getting better and better and better, that changes the dynamic of how personal you're taking it, that you haven't figured it out, or that you're struggling to figure it out, or that you may not have done it before. Okay. Success still requires work. It requires a level of curiosity. It requires a level of learning. And some of you guys haven't accepted that yet. You have accepted the need for the desire to want, but not the accepting part of like you personally actually connecting to your goals and your objectives. This is what I talk about and Make It Make Sense, the Creator's Way guide. And that's on a basic level. Okay. And come to think about it, most of you guys that have listened to the podcast haven't even got the guide yet. It's very simple. Okay. And as I always say, like, you don't have to buy from me, because I do want to put that out there. But I know I mentioned a lot of things over and over again. So I just still put it out there. You have to believe in something. You don't have to believe in my products or my stuff, but you got to believe in something outside of yourself. And I mean something outside of yourself in terms of like how you build in the personal connection between what you feel about you contributing to the thing that you say you are trying to create. Okay. As I said, if you guys have any questions about anything, email me. Fill out the Creators Connect form. Okay. Get the guide. Make It Make Sense, the Creators Way guide. Connect with me. I'm going to do my best to try to show up here as much as I can, but know that your purpose is meaningful. And I'm not just saying that because it sounds good. I'm saying that because I don't truly think you know what you're trying to do. Like if it actually succeeded, how much it would affect everyone that is tied to you. So you have to believe different about your success. Then I truly think that you would show up differently to put it in the right position. You wouldn't have to hope or dream for something else. And I know even some of you guys that starting off, you may just be starting off and it's that hard, it's that difficult because you don't know what you don't know. You're afraid of what you're afraid of. You know, you don't have probably a big support system. This is why personal connection and community is so important. Listening to the right people. Stop getting on social media. You know, everyone got something good or great or magnificent going on. You got to lock in on the thing that you are trying to build. You have to become a builder. You can't become a seeker, a person that grabs it. Like it just don't go together in terms of personal success. The victor goes to the person who is putting in the work and that is building. And they're not afraid to. This whole creative journey is about being brave enough to step out there and do something different. And that's the challenge right now, because you also are having to survive, but you're also having to go out on the limb. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so passionate about it because I know the real strength and courage that goes behind showing up every day for something and not seeing the results that you want to see, not even getting the money from it that you want to see, but you know it's purposeful. You know it's going to help somebody that truly need it. You know it's going to like build a like you know it has the potential to do something great for you, but you haven't seen it yet. But you still building on it. And that will kind of make you you know, be reluctant to show up to actually do it, you know? And I know what it's like to be in that space. But you have to show up still and fall in love with it every time. You have to continuously fall in love and build a relationship with your goals and your objective all the time. That's the person that wins. That's the person that becomes successful. Okay? As I always say in closing out all my episodes, I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, I damn sure know it's challenging, but it is so worth it once you make it to the other side. Until the next time we speak.